and start up because we're 3 after. So we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is the approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting, October 8th, 2013.
So moved.
There's a motion from Frank. Is there a second?
Second.
Mickey's okay.
Yeah.
Mickey seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So the agenda is now official. Our first item tonight is the public meeting to discuss the memorialization of the 250th commemoration mural. Is there anyone from the public who'd like to come up and give us their thoughts on that? We have no one, so
Okay, well, that answers.
yes, that answers that question.
That was an easy answer.
So we will now close the public meeting and move right into the regular meeting.
Well, we're going to get some suggestions, or maybe they have some recommendations of what they'd like to do. I mean, is that why? Do you have any?
We showed up just to make sure that we could dispel any misinformation.
Okay.
So our architect has had a long conversation in addition to, I think, prior conversations with the artist, and he's given several options, and he's fine with basically anything we want to do, from a photo. He has some excellent proofs of the original to, he would put it on canvas, to, he would do whatever. Obviously, we're limited with resources, so we will make a very nice reproduction of it from probably his film is what we will take it from.
Excellent.
So, but he was very, very helpful, and Pete Schwartz had a very nice, long, detailed conversation with him, and I have that email, so I was ready to answer any questions.
Well, we were given a picture, weren't we, months ago, what you'd like to do that side, it was allowed?
Yes, it's on the
That's
rendering,
so it's
yes.
about- Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so we,
All right, well, I guess that we close the public meeting and we,
Wait a second.
okay?
So will it be in the building? Or,
I think that's up for debate. It's
because
really
I had an
weird.
idea, what about the museum?
Yeah, you all mentioned that last time, and I really think it's up to where you all want it. You know, I think we'll have several spots that we can put it, that will be highlighted. We have a gallery, we'll have the main meeting hall, and we'll have a nice long brick wall between the meeting hall and the classrooms that the architects think will be a nice place for it also. So really, we'll go with your approval where you want us to put it.
Okay, thanks.
Excuse me. Just as a formality, I didn't bring my notes from the previous meeting. Did this meeting cause us to table approval of one of the subsections?
No.
Okay.
I think we
That's all.
did those, yeah, so that everything was taken care of,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. So now we move on? Okay, we move on now to so that closes the public meeting. We move on to the
Thank you so much.
order of the special meeting. Thanks everyone for being here.
we should have called you.
That's right.
Not at all, you didn't know, and we appreciate the opportunity, thank you.
Yeah,
Public agrees with you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all very
Have a
much.
good evening.
See y'all later.
Yeah.
All right, see you. Goodbye.
These?
So am I to understand that we're not going to have a meeting next week?
Yes, we are.
We are.
We are
Oh,
going to.
gosh, we have probably at least 6 items for next week.
Okay.
Really, I canceled that one.
But we were going to have special meeting for the Public Works,
Yes.
but we decided to do it all together tonight instead of
Yeah.
having a special meeting.
I think I missed that one.
Well, I understood that,
I got his email.
Did?
Yeah.
I misunderstood, thought we were having it tonight instead of next week.
Okay, so we need to, I guess, start off with a roll call of members here in a second.
Yeah, this should just be gone.
One.
They should all be aligned.
Well, one of the
So we do the roll call of members?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. Nancy?
7 to 8 is a normal meeting, right?
Yes, yes. You don't have to eat at McDonald's next week. You can move on to China King.
Well, you know, that hour makes a difference.
Well.
Yeah. Smart hour.
So,
I just got off it.
It's Columbus.
This is 4 o'clock.
Okay, so we're going to have the roll call of members.
Jamie Bowman,
Here.
Ed Luttrell,
Here.
George Weiner,
Here.
Frank Myers,
Here.
Ron Bronx,
Here.
Mickey Ketting,
Here.
Frank Roth.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. So our first item on commission business is HPCA number 13-01961, a request to close in windows and with siding and replace current windows with vinyl windows at the Public Works Building located at 598 Market Street, circa 1950, which was tabled from the September 16th, 2013 meeting. Is there someone who would like to tell us about the...
Well, as I think you've got the latest, I guess, idea in front of you, we did get a hold of an architect and came down and looked at it, and we just asked him to give us some idea of what he would, or a different idea maybe, and he came back with this using, hasn't changed a whole lot, but he did change it to using double hungs windows instead of the awning type of windows, and threw another option in there, I guess, of using like a drive-it system in that middle drawing, which I don't know how well that would really fit in the neighborhood, and I know it definitely doesn't fit very well into the budget.
What's a driving system?
It's almost like a
stucco.
kind of like what's on El Torero, that kind of a finish.
This is.
So we're just kind of back to where we...
Don't take my comments the wrong way. I recognize that the building has to be used, and there has to be something done to it that use. My only hope is that it's done so that it's attractive to the city, and that it serves the purpose that it's there for. Having said that, the first question I have, do you think vinyl windows are superior to some of the other, say, a good aluminum window?
No, it could, certainly for that purpose, it could really go either way. I mean, it wouldn't make much difference.
In terms of the economical vinyl windows don't last that long.
We can sure, yeah, when we get into certainly some more costing of it, you've got, although they've come out with some real good paints now in vinyl windows, but you would have probably a few more options on the aluminum window side of it. And that sure, we can explore that, although they're both going to look about the same as far as looks go. But as far as longevity goes, that might be a better way to look at it.
And the other comment I have is that I still think it's a building that is better not called attention to than trying to make it attractive. And I think landscaping in conjunction with what the architect is doing would be a help.
Absolutely.
I've got a lot of faith in Bacon. I mean, I think these houses.
Absolutely, I forgot to mention that. That would definitely be, we would look at doing some trees down that whole side, because we have a tree farm, and those trees are starting to get pretty big. We need to do something with some of them anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, literally. They're already, the root systems are badly intermeshed, and for every 4 trees we take out, we might be able to save one.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get done now, you'll never be able to save any of them. So
Maybe this is a good.
I think it's a good opportunity, yeah.
To let the public know too, if they're like.
Well, we've had city council meetings, and we put information in the paper, and come one, come all, take the trees, and nobody showed up. Because they're too big for most people to get in there, and it's not worth the effort for them to try and get them out. We have a backhoe and available labor, and if we're going to landscape, that seems like an appropriate source for the vegetation.
We could look at also, in looking around, and I didn't even mention to Martin or Dave yet, I don't know what we've got, or if there's room for parking and maybe some, and here we go, as far as how much area you need for a tree, but I don't know if we could cut some in and cover that fence up on the other side too. Maybe it would cover up once they grew big enough, would cover up the east side of the building and that fence there, and as long as we still had room to be able to park along there. There's obviously a gate there too we'd have to leave open, but maybe we can cut some room in that parking lot. I don't know we don't know what's under there, but we can look.
And I don't want to get too committed on this thinking out loud business, but parking lot doesn't have to be paved with impervious materials. So it's possible, if we're going to do that we could use some pervious pavements in that particular parking area, and that would mitigate the problems with the infiltration for nourishing the trees we plant. So
Yeah, but that's paved already on the other side. But we'll see. And I don't know what room's behind it either. Yeah, right. Yeah, we do have a backhoe. We might be able to dig a deep enough hole and get some decent dirt in there.
I've been wanting to put in pervious pavement parking ever since I learned about it.
Mayor, on the bottom drawing where it says upcoming event.
Yeah, that was just a wild idea he had.
Okay, so, I mean, how would you actually get the event up there?
Oh, it's going to be an electronic.
We thought maybe an electronic board.
And we'll just kind of.
Moving across.
Yeah, with little animated characters. So.
So that option is not on.
No.
Okay.
But I do like the idea of some decent lettering identifying the building and its use. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know if we go on the front, if the door's the right place, or if we take it where maybe you only put one window on that side and take part of it and put it right on the building there. I don't particularly like what we've got in the window. That just doesn't, we have something kind of scrolled across there right now, and it isn't that appealing. We got one of those front windows. And I wish we could do some. I mean, the building obviously doesn't do a whole lot for anybody the way it is right now, but this wasn't in the plans, but it's just one of those things that happened that we got to do something about it since it did happen. So if we could afford to do something with the front of the building at this point, we'd try to do that too, but it just isn't in the ball game right now.
So are you asking us to see which one of these we'd approve, or the windows, or what are we looking at?
I mean, we would like to probably go with the metal vertical siding. Looks like it's not going to change the look of it, no matter which way we go with it.
Right.
It's the most reasonable, and we just gave you these two elevations. Whether the spacing on the windows would be exactly like that, I'm not sure, but it'd be pretty close.
So I mean, one observation, and if you're local, you wouldn't know, but if you have people from out of town, you probably know that GPS takes you down Market Street now. It does not take you 32 to exit 150, it takes you to exit 154, and then down. So the one where you have Welcome to St. Genevieve, Missouri on it, I mean, that possibly with a spotlight just shining up at it at night, if it's possible, and give it at least a little pizzazz, because if you're driving in, you're already a little confused on where you are, and you're going down the road, it might be nice to see here in St. Genevieve. I don't know.
I like it
Yeah,
too.
I like that too. I like, you don't need
Do
the
that?
neon sign.
We can do that.
Going off
Do
things
that?
like that.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I think if you're driving down the road and you're a tourist, you know, you're drawn to looking at the you know, the old, whatever the name of the house is there. Help me out
KC
here.
Hall.
The KC
The
Hall.
Petrican.
Right, so you're kind of looking at that anyway, then you say, welcome to St. Genevieve, you get kind of a nice tie-in, and you say, oh, I'm down
Yeah.
here, and
Okay,
get all happy, and there you are downtown.
okay.
The vertical is a lot more economical than the horizontal, like a lap board in the seam of the metal. It's just not done.
It was about this, the cement board was a little bit, was about, yeah, it was about twice as much.
Twice.
It was about the same as a vertical vinyl siding was. And then the steel, just the steel vertical siding was like less than half of what those other two were.
As you look back that street on the side, you see the KC Hall, that little fry house, and the other house next to it that are vinyl sided. And then that's about all you see. The other house is tucked back. You got the KC Hall there with its color. What color would you go with? Any idea?
We don't
match.
We don't.
No, I was just asking.
Yeah.
Something to go with the brick.
Something, yeah, the match, because that kind of matches the KC Hall too, you know,
Yeah.
that color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we have nothing to do
Well,
with color.
we'll talk about that. Sometimes you want a contrast
Oh,
color.
yeah, or a contrast in color.
Right.
You have dissimilar materials, you like the different
So
colors.
which is it, the vertical vinyl siding that
Metal.
you're
The vertical
talking about?
metal.
Vertical metal.
Okay, that's where I
Would be
like that better anyway.
Yeah. And if we got, you know, if it's a cost-wise, you know, I like the vertical metal.
Well, yeah, I'm on the wrong side of the table to be talking like this, but cost really shouldn't be a consideration. But even with the relative cost, I think the vertical metal is more appropriate in that area.
Well, we'll be able to go for a hardship.
There you go.
I wonder where we would go with that.
I mean, the concrete board, I think, would suit it a lot better. I mean, it's an awful long span, but it's more appropriate than vertical metal in this, you know, in the historical area that it's in as you're coming into town. You know, but it is a maintenance shed, and if it says it's a maintenance shed on it, then people understand, you know. It's just a long,
It's a, yeah, but it's gonna have trees in front of it.
Right.
So,
I think the trees will do.
I think the trees are going to
Break it up,
come
side.
in, yeah.
Because I don't think with the siding, we would really want to call attention to the place.
Yeah.
We want to mute it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that'll do it.
I'd like to make a minor comment, getting back to what Frank was saying about enjoying seeing the welcome sign on it.
Mhm.
Could we consider changing it from welcome to St. Genevieve, Missouri to welcome to historic St. Genevieve?
Sure. Yeah, I think they already know what state they're in at least, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you know, plug in wherever you're
you know, we hope.
Hopefully.
Well, I'm happy with the vertical metal siding. Is that
I
what
like
everybody's
that.
heading towards? So we can at least get some.
But you got the sample?
Yeah.
No.
I make a motion for the vertical metal
Horizontal
siding.
metal.
Accepted.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second that.
For seconds, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Then vertical metal siding looks like it works fine.
Thank you.
And you said you went with a double hung window compared to what did before?
We had awnings in there, kind of awnings in there before.
I'm not sure.
Well, they've consulted a very competent
You know,
person.
climb up on the ladder, open
Firm
it.
that has done some concrete work that they've used, and,
Have to be a little bit lower.
I really think.
8 feet off the bottom of it's 8 feet off the ground.
Color,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
size,
got
those things.
Yeah,
Brandon says we also, I'm sorry, we also need a motion on the windows.
Yeah, that's what we're working. Okay, we gotta get going on the windows, right?
okay.
I mean, Dick's the window expert. I mean, give us, you went with vinyl, Dick, why would?
Well, no, I didn't even, in considering that, aluminum would be, in that application, aluminum would probably be better.
And the dimensions of it, I mean, I can't, Bacon decide the dimensions of it, I mean.
Well, he dimensioned, I mean, it's not there's no magic to this because there's no structural issues involved. You can put them pretty well anywhere you want to. And then, he's got the bottom of that window
He knows more about it.
about 8 feet off the ground.
We may want to
You know,
lower that a little, but Dave was...
If you're going to want to open them, then they're 8 feet, you might want to bring them down a little bit so somebody can get to them.
Because the building doesn't have very much ventilation unless you open the garage doors. And I know these big windows folded out quite a bit. I was in there painting today with all the trucks and that put in there, but that's not our concern again, but,
Well, I think any recommendations on functionality would be appreciated.
Well, I can tell now, the windows, the higher you get them, the better, because that's where the fumes are.
Oh, okay, well, then you're going to have to come up with a...
Well, Bacon will know more, I'm just saying that we were in there painting.
That's a good point, that's a good... Yeah.
We were in there painting for 2 days, and then they, brought my truck in there, and it's a maintenance shed, so they should know the windows got to be up if they're going to use that. Now, they got fans, but they got to be able to open up too manually. You can't get up on a ladder and open your windows all the time.
Then are we putting too few windows in? If we need ventilation up above, to take the fumes out, and something down below to bring,
Well, this is 3 times the number of openings that,
what they have.
all those were fixed pane. And they were like...
I would suggest really that if you're concerned about venting for painting or exhaust fumes, that you use an application that's meant for that. A hose system for your...
Yeah, we do...
The windows will just never take care of it.
And we don't do much of that in there. And then they show up, they take the equipment out, then they work out, and then they bring it back. Any mechanic work we do is generally with changing shock absorbers, but any mechanical work, we send it off to somebody. So.
Yeah, and we don't decide the mechanical workings of it anyway,
Yeah.
I just noticed that today when we were in there.
Yeah, we don't paint there.
Not often. But, yeah, I mean.
Is there a motion on windows?
I would make the motion that we let the city and its consultant determine the size
Size and
composition
operating.
of the windows.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
2 seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So motion carries, so you're on with the decision.
Okay, great, thank you.
Do you have citizens to be heard on your agenda?
Yes, we have citizen input is next on the agenda. So do we have anyone who'd like to address the Parks Commission?
Are we discussing this evening the mural on the side of the Roper building? Am I at the right meeting?
We do that at 6, but you're free to come up and...
Okay. Do I need to stand up?
Come on up.
Okay.
Name and rank.
Well, I'm Regina Bergbigler. Jamie knows me. I know a few of you. I am really torn about the idea of them replacing the mural on the side of the Rozier building. It was painted the year that I moved here. I watched them paint it. There are local people on it. I have watched traffic stop so that tourists can take pictures of it, and they do it often. And I think that there are a lot of people in the community. I hate to name names, but Mary Pira, I think, has been very involved, and Jamie, I believe, that we have the stained glass shop. There are artistic people in our community, and we've had the Fourth Friday Art Walk for several years now. I think they're really struggling and really trying to promote our city as an artist community, and so I'm not really sure why we would want to remove that mural when it's a beautiful piece of art. I understand that the Valley Church might, you know, they might want more windows, and I've looked at the pictures and everything, and I understand what they're doing. It's aesthetics to them, but I just wanted to voice my opinion. I don't really see why we don't have enough local artists in the community who could redo it, rejuvenate it, refresh it, do whatever we need to do.
Well, Regina, at 6 o'clock, no one was here to speak about this except for the architectural firm that came, and they're going to, it's coming down. I mean, it's going to disappear, but, you know, we're trying to think of ways to do something, put it someplace else, or...
They're planning to memorialize it somehow, like they've even talked to the artist and gotten original photos. So there'll be a big reproduction, either inside the building or somewhere around town.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to keep it outside somewhere.
Yeah.
So the pictures can be taken next to it.
Oh, yes.
I know the Baldukes have a plaque down there. People are stopping all the time and taking pictures of the plaque. So maybe you can make a suggestion that it does get repainted and sealed and mounted on the wall as big as you can get it. You know, I'd like to see that myself, that it just doesn't go inside the building where the public can't go, or in the museum where it's locked up half the time.
Yeah.
Mount it and get it back on the wall. Maybe you can, because I know Mary Pierre, I know those, and I know she'd be here tonight probably, you know, if she, things are feeling good.
I would suggest that you consider getting these people together to decide how you can help with whatever preservation system has come up with. Because it is, I think, important to the history of the town. It's relatively recent history, but it's something that happened during the 150th celebration. It was a very key part of that.
I think it was the 250th, and we should be coming up close to the
We're coming up close
to the
275.
because that was the year we were married, and that's going to be 29 years. So
They said they were willing to put it on canvas. I mean, you can watch this on TV and say that they, you know, they're really open to doing whatever they can with it.
okay,
And we were kind of hands, you know, nobody was here, so.
okay.
But we do have enough talented people in the community, in the arts, you know, that I think if they got together, they could be a great help in seeing that some recognition is given to it and that it is preserved in some manner.
Yes. Okay.
For the public out, you know. I like that idea.
I'm sure
I do too.
Jamie has many talented students who,
Yeah, I didn't look at this, I don't remember the
You know.
design of that side of the building, but there might be an 8 by 10 area in that building that they could just shrink, you know, move it down and seal it and make it another side, you know, side of the road where people could stop and take pictures of it against it.
can I ask why that building is not considered a historic building?
Why it's not
It
considered.
is.
It is.
But it's,
The Ben Franklin side is not,
oh, okay,
but the Rozier side is.
but the Rozier side.
Yeah, it's the 1920s, right, 1920s, yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we're letting them renovate it more than we should let them renovate a historic building? I mean, what? See, we need the public's input too, you know. And you've seen the pictures. They're putting a lot more glass in it and stuff like that.
It looks like it's going to be a beautiful building, it's just that it's sitting right
Heart of town.
down there in the heart of town, and that's where all of the businesses are trying to draw tourists to. So, to me, it just made sense for them to try and make it fit into the historic part of town.
Yeah.
You know, we have all of the stores along 3rd Street there, the O'Deal's and the anvil, and, you know, they've all tried very hard, I think, to keep their buildings.
Yeah.
Jamie has tried, you know, to keep her building historically correct, and
It's hard, I mean, you know, as an owner down there, you know, they're working on a budget too. And I think they're trying to keep it as historical as they can, and they're using the other openings that were there, that were bricked in. They're using a little bit different materials, but a lot of that is cost.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to, and we've addressed things to keep it that way, but we've addressed things that were concerns to us because of the same reasons. You know, the brightness of the color and,
Right.
You know, the size of the windows and.
Yeah,
what
we
they-
never really okayed anything. They brought a proposal and gave us an idea what they were liking to do. Is that right, Brenda? It's been approved, that the plan has been
Yeah.
approved, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, you can look at the museum, and that's the lasting part of the 1935 bicentennial for the town, and then this was the lasting thing for the 250th. And I don't know about you, but I was busy that summer, you know, and you hate to see it go, you know. But it is going to be gone, and we just have to figure out some way to do something.
I do think they would take suggestions. They've been very open.
Real open.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was just a little surprised that more of the art community has not
We were surprised too.
We are too.
been more open about this, or
We're not.
yeah.
I mean, even as an artist, I mean, I don't know. It's disappointing, but it happens. They've even spoken to the artist, and it's happened to him before.
I read that in the paper, yes. Okay,
So,
all right.
Well,
Thank you
thanks.
for hearing me.
Thanks for coming out. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
It's heartfelt for everybody.
Thank you.
Is there any other citizen input out there?
Hi, I'm Joyce White, and I really thought this public hearing was going to be at 7 this evening, so I was going to just be like a listener. I am in favor of what is being proposed by the Catholic Church as far as the renovation of the building. I know that mural was part of the celebration, and it probably touches the heart of many people in the community. But I just feel that our downtown area needs some uplifting, and I think that it will just create such a vitality within the community downtown. It would make anyone having a business downtown to be so optimistic, because it will just uplift that area. That building, if something doesn't happen to it, it's just going to continue to decay. And I know it's a conflict, but actually when you get to the historical part, the mural actually is not a historical part. It's part of a history celebration, but it's not historical. That is my feeling about it. I really am very optimistic. Many people in this community have already pledged great amounts of money to support the renovation of that building, and I think they would be very disappointed if it doesn't go through.
It's all approved. Yeah.
I disagree somewhat with what you're saying. I'm totally in favor of what the church wants to do with the building. My only thought was that the mural itself could have been saved in some way and still given the church what they wanted from the building. And the boost that you predicted will occur to the community. It's one corner, basically one corner of the building, which is not going to make it or break it. And I do think it's historical. I mean, history is a thing that keeps occurring. It isn't just one point in time. And that was significant to the community when it was done. It is history of the community. And I know I'm an outsider, but I still feel that it's part of your history, and I hate to see it go. However, in the consideration of the committee and the church and the architects, they decided it had to go. I disagree with that decision, but I support it because it's what they've come up with. And now I think the only thing is if the artists of the community can come together and organize some approach that will retain the concept of the drawings without interfering with what the architects wish to do with the building.
I think the campaign committee will work very closely and be very accommodating to do that. I'm sure that they don't want any hard feelings.
And I don't think there should be.
No.
I respect they all showed up tonight. There was 6 people here, just to help soften the blow which way it went. But the public didn't show up, and it was here. So.
Well, I thought it was going to be at 7, so that's my misreading. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any other business now on the agenda? Yes.
Can I address this?
Absolutely.
First of all, as I've said to most of you before, I think you have the hardest job of any commission that the city has appointed. At times, certainly even having to make tougher decisions than the Board of Aldermen has to make, but they get elected to do that. So I appreciate all of you and what you do for the city. With that being said, I know it's been over a year ago that we had that public meeting, with a joint meeting with the board and the Landmarks Commission. And, a lot of ideas and suggestions came out of that meeting. And I thought, and I think we were looking at, and I hope we're looking at the guidelines and what we can do to accommodate what some of those suggestions were. Because I get a feeling at times, and nobody is, believe me, because I'm sure you would have heard about it, nobody's been at a board meeting lately pounding their fists, saying I've been treated unfairly and all of you people are crazy and we shouldn't be doing this. But I have been getting some comments from people and some comments from some of the aldermen, and I think, certainly are things that could be coming to a head again where people are saying, hey, enough's enough and we need to make some changes and we need to take a different look at this. And I know, I guess when one of our former aldermen was, our aldermanic rep was on the board, one of the suggestions that he had was maybe why don't we take all the buildings that's in the historic district and go through and look at each one of them and say, hey, we need to be concerned about this one. This is something that this board should be concerned about, and this one isn't, and this one is. And we could let people know about that. And I don't know how far that ever got, or if we take, and I know it's tough to say take a period of time and say anything after that period of time. That shouldn't be something we should be concerned about, or shouldn't at least come before this commission. And believe me, it's got nothing to do with our building down here. But I wonder that what sometimes that we get concerned about as this commission is, granted, I guess everything in the historic district one of these days is going to be old, because the buildings that are 50 years old, 100 years from now are going to be 150 years old, but those buildings are all over the place. And I think what we're charged with, at least what I think the people of this community believes that this board should be doing, is preserving the heritage of what we've got here, and it's the 17 and 1800s buildings that are certainly the treasures that you can't go to any other community and find. So I think we really need to look at that and maybe concentrate our efforts. And again, I don't think it's fair to the community, and I don't think this community wants us to say take the historic district and just freeze it for the next 200 or 300 years, and everything in the historic district that's old today will be even older. I don't think that's what the community wants. So I think we've got to weigh those things, and it's up to you to have to weigh those. But again, it's not an easy job, but I hope we can get a little bit farther along than what we are. So I just hope we can continue to work towards those goals, because I don't want it to come to the Board of Aldermen and having the Board of Aldermen to make those decisions to say, well, we're going to change the guidelines and here's what they're going to be. I think it would certainly be a lot better if that came out of here versus coming out of there, because I don't know what we're going to get. So, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'd like to offer the side of my building at 203 Main, the south side, Main and Washington, if somebody would like to transfer the mural or make another mural on that brick building there.
Very nice.
That's very nice. Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other business that's not on the agenda?
Should we find a way to communicate that to the architect? George's offer.
Or
Yeah.
Gil, you know,
Or
somebody.
the Gil,
Somebody.
yeah.
Somebody.
Well, so we need to notify the parents.
Yeah. But that's very nice. Very nice to do that, yeah.
Which building?
The old Bowman building. The old Bowman building, right next to Stella and me.
Oh, yes. That's the northeast corner?
Yes.
Yeah.
The old Bowman building, the two-story barn, they put that. Is that the one, George? You put the metal cap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
George's garage.
Here on the south side, you know,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of sunlight,
Faces
Yeah.
Stella.
a lot of
Yeah.
people.
It's a good walking
Oh,
spot
yeah.
down
So
there.
it'll help draw tourism down that end.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
the flood park
I think
down,
that's-
and it's really a great idea, actually.
That's, yeah, that's
It's
a
a more
really
natural
good
spot
idea.
anyway.
Painter come
Yeah.
back and repaint.
Maybe.
Didn't sound like he was too interested in redoing, but
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
yeah,
an offer, you know.
community effort, yeah.
Okay. Is there any other business that's not on the agenda? Would you like to speak? No? Okay. All right. All right, if there's no other new business, then is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned for tonight.
Thank you for watching Channel 798.
Thank you for watching Channel 7 and 98.
Hi, thank you very much for watching Channel 798.